This is our week. Members, today, before the opening remarks, with your kind indulgence, I would like to do the call of the roll first. Call of the roll.
Mr. Clark, Mr. Green, Dr. Holness, Dr. Chang, Mrs. Williams, Mr. Bartlett, Miss Grange, Dr. Tufton, Mr. Mackenzie, Mr. Montague, Mr. Vaz, Mr. Chuck, Mr. Charles Jr., Mr. Morgan, Ambassador Marks, Mr. Samuda, Dr. Wheatley, Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn, Mr. Terry Long, Mr. Witter, Mrs. Dalrymple Filbert, Miss Morrison, Miss Lee, Mr. Donovan Williams, Mr. Main, Miss Crawford, Mr. Delroy Williams, Miss Hamilton, Mr. Sivright, Mr. Azan, Mr. Brown, Dr. Brownberg, Mr. Buchanan, Mr. Bunting, Miss Burchell, Dr. Campbell, Mr. Cousins, Mr. Crawford, Miss Daly, Dr. Dawes, Mr. Golding, Mr. Gordon, Mr. Hales, Mr. Hines, Mr. Hilton, Mr. Jackson, Miss Jess, Mrs. Malahoo Fort, Mrs. Miller Bennett, Mr. Morris, Mrs. Nita Garvey, Mr. Newell, Mr. Paulwell, Mr. Phillips, Miss Perkis, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Robinson, Dr. Russell, Miss Shaw, Mr. Smith, Mr. Vaz, and Mr. Warmington, Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn, and Mrs. Williams. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I now call this sitting of the House of Representatives to order for today, this 12th day of February 2026. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all the members of this honorable House, to our wonderful friends visiting the Parliament today, seated in the gallery, and to the many Jamaicans joining us online and through the various broadcast platforms. Today, we assemble at the commencement of a new legislative session. It is a moment of renewal of mandate, of responsibility and of purpose. Admittedly, the last parliamentary session was very brief. Following the dissolution of Parliament for the general elections, our operation spanned only September 28, 2025 to February 9, 2026. Yet, even within the shortened period, the House demonstrated that impact is not measured solely by time, but by focus and commitment. We passed key legislations, including the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Act, the Financial Investigations Division Amendment Act, and the Cybercrimes Amendment Act. These measures strengthen our legal framework in areas of rehabilitation, financial accountability, and digital security, issues central to modern governance. Prior to the prorogation, important committee work was already undertaken. The review of the Domestic Violence Act had commenced. Also, the Green Paper on National Policy for Culture, Entertainment, and the Creative Economy. These matters remain active and carry significant national importance. We anticipate meaningful progress in this session. The Caucus of Women Parliamentarians also began its structured engagement. This is a welcomed and progressive development within our parliamentary landscape. Oversight remains robust. The PAC and PAAC continue their deliberations, reinforcing Parliament's constitutional role in scrutinizing expenditure and public administration. Their work is vital to accountability and public trust, and we look forward to receiving sound recommendations. Within our internal governance, the House Committee has been actively considering improvements aimed at enhancing the comfort, functionality, and modernization of our facilities for members and parliamentary staff. The long-standing aspiration for a new or expanded parliamentary building remains firmly before us. This was a key highlight in the recent Commonwealth Parliamentary Association benchmark report on the Parliament of Jamaica. However, we must also speak candidly about the realities we face. The administration of Parliament continues to operate under staffing constraints that affect capacity and the pace of delivery of service. We are actively advocating for additional personnel to better support members in the execution of their legislative and representative functions. We are also contending with ongoing space, access, electrical, plumbing challenges within the building. This, being an antiquated building, has given rise to issues that might impact the structural integrity of the facility. For example, the Jamaica Council of Persons with Disabilities Accessibility Assessment Report on the Parliament building revealed that only 65% of the features of the physical environment met accessibility standards, and our digital content or web accessibility score was 11%. These are not abstract issues. They affect safety, efficiency, and the overall working environment of this institution. Addressing them remains a priority, even as we pursue longer-term solutions regarding accommodation and infrastructure. As always, despite these challenges, progress continues. Following the swearing-in of members at the beginning of the last parliamentary session, the administration hosted an orientation session for new and returning members. Members were introduced to key staff and departmental heads and briefed on proposed organizational improvements by the clerk. These reforms include continued lobbying for the expansion of staffing to strengthen institutional support. With the support of the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and our own parliamentary technical team, a draft of our revised standing orders has been prepared and submitted to the Standing Orders Committee for review and update. This important reform initiative was introduced during the post-election seminar held January 28 to 30, 2026. And this was in collaboration with Parliamericas. The seminar was both practical, forward-looking, and it equipped members with a deeper procedural understanding and reinforced the principles of a modern, rules-based parliament. We have also advanced modernization efforts through the procurement of a web developer's new parliamentary website. This completion is anticipated to be around May 2026 of this year. Our integration of technology must improve, and it will, as this initiative forms a greater part of the broader commitment of transparency and accessibility. In addition, both members and staff can expect the My HR Plus system to go live before the end of this financial year. This platform modernizes our human resource management processes, streamline administrative functions, and improve efficiency and accountability within the institution. It represents another step towards building a parliament that is administratively strong and future-ready. This was particularly important to many members of parliament, as it has taken many persons who have gone on retirement years to be able to access their pensions under the old system. That would be a thing of the past. Members, infrastructure and systems are important, but ultimately, the strength of this parliament rests on conduct. As we begin this legislative year, I urge all members to uphold the highest standards of decorum and discipline. Adherence to the standing orders is fundamental. They are not obstacles to debate. They are the safeguards that ensure fairness, order, and respect within the chamber. The Jamaican people expect seriousness of purpose. They expect thoughtful legislation, vigilant oversight, and mature engagement across the aisles. They expect leadership worthy of this institution. Let us therefore approach this session with steadiness, mutual respect, and an unwavering commitment to national progress. The challenges are real. The opportunities are significant. The responsibility is ours. I thank you, and I look forward to a productive and impactful legislative session. Thank you, members. House Leader, we will also share this report. We will also share this report on the Parliament, and we will share with the members through the House Committee an update for their consideration and for sharing with the entire House in detail. House Leader, and House Leader, I crave your indulgence. It appears a member from St. James West Central would like to make a comment here.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I really want to put on record my appreciation to you and the parliamentary staff for the post-election seminar. While it is regrettable that we did not have large number of parliamentarians in attendance, from my interaction with those who attended, the common view was that it was beneficial. And certainly in the many years that I have been in the Parliament, it's the first time that we have conducted a seminar of that. And so I want to commend your leadership on this matter and also to put on record my appreciation for it. I look forward to many other training seminars.
The member from St. Andrew Southeast.
Madam Speaker, just on a point of clarification, I've looked at the documents to be laid. I don't see the fiscal policy paper, which is one of the most important
In
documents.
the announcements, member, you will
That
have
is not on the paper.
you will have that and another update.
And
I
can
saw
I
saw
just
a
ask
handwritten note,
the,
and there is a further update. There is a document from the
That's what
Integrity
I was gonna
Commission as well, and it came just before we came back into the chamber. So what I had recommended, instead of pulling the announcements, to do a update of that note. I saw mine written in. We will recommit announcements, and it will be announced at that time. And when we recommit announcements, we will also include the Integrity Commission report, not currently on your announcement sheet.
and can I just ask that the revenue measures as well, we have gotten other table documents that before the minister speaks, that the members have an opportunity to see a physical copy of it as well.
Thanks. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, firstly, let me join with you in welcoming the members for our new legislative session and commend the members and the House for the changes we were able to make over the last session. Madam Speaker, I want to commend you, and I think the report that you gave was a comprehensive report, which does highlight some of the challenges that you and the other staff members face in administering the business of the House. And I want to commend you, the clerk, and the members of staff for all the work that they do and their dedication. You made a point at the House Committee that oftentimes people are of the view that work only happens when there are sit-ins, but there is so much work that happens behind the scenes. And I really want to join with you, Madam Speaker, in advocating for us to take significant steps during the course of this year towards a new parliament. Madam Speaker, it is good to report that the majority of our select committees have met in our shortened legislative year, including the Standing Order Committee, which, as you outlined, started to look at some of the suggestions regarding reform of the standing orders, and the House Committee. And again, the matter of a new parliamentary building was raised across both sides in that House Committee. Also looking forward, Madam Speaker, to the new parliamentary website, which I know steps are being taken to develop and roll that out this year, and I know it is something that the public is looking forward to. Madam Speaker, just allow me to urge the members to remain cordial, respectful, and to adhere to the standing orders. We can disagree without being disagreeable. And let us remember that regardless of our political side or affiliation, ultimately, we are all here to make Jamaica a better place. Madam Speaker, with that said, you have already addressed, and I now see the fiscal policy is being tabled, and I assure the members that at an appropriate time, the revenue measures will also be circulated, and we look forward to this parliamentary session.
Leader of
Thank you,
Opposition
Madam,
Business.
Madam Speaker.
Deputy
Say one day
Tyson.
Busha is Busha anyway. Okay.
Member, permission granted. You can stay in that seat and make it yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, but to also extend our welcome to all the members, and we look forward to a productive parliamentary year. I want to especially welcome the newcomers and to hope that they will have a fruitful stay and a long stay in the House. But that as we do the business of the people, we work assiduously to keep the relations cordial on behalf of the people and that we get the work done.
Thank you very much. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, we can go through the agenda. The only item that we have for today is the tabling of the estimates of expenditure and the associated documents that come with that.
Thank you. Announcements. Statement by ministers. Announcements.
Laid on the table of the House are the following. Estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027 and dated February 12, 2026. Jamaica Public Bodies estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027 dated February 2026. Jamaica Mortgage Bank estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027. Tax expenditure statements for the period 2022 to 2024, dated February 2026. Public sector consolidated estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027, dated February 12, 2026. Revenue estimates 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027, dated February 12, 2026. Government of Jamaica Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy for the financial year 2026-2027 to 2029-2030, dated February 12, 2026. Government of Jamaica Fiscal Policy Paper for the financial year 2026-2027, dated February 12, 2026. Ministry Paper numbered 17 of 2026, titled Revenue Measures for the Financial Year 2026-2027. And finally, the Integrity Commission's investigation report into concerns that Ms. Brittany Blake, an accounting clerk or cashier, formerly employed to the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, failed to file her statutory declaration with the Commission for the year 2023, contrary to the law and its indicative ruling. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Bills brought from the Senate, petitions, papers, reports from committees, notices of motions given orally. Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move, be it resolved that the estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027, the Jamaica Public Bodies estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027, the tax expenditure statement for the period 2022 to 2024, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027, the Government of Jamaica Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy for the financial year 2026-27 through 2029-2030, the public sector consolidated estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027. The revenue estimates 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027. and the Government of Jamaica Fiscal Policy Paper, fiscal year 2026-27, which were laid on the table of the House on the 12th day of February 2026, be referred to the Standing Finance Committee of the whole House of Representatives, consisting of all the members of the House, for consideration and report. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take this motion.
Thank you, Minister. Questions and answers to questions. Motions that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notice. Motions relating to the sitting of the House. Motions for leave to introduce bills. Presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained. Public business. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, we will take the Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion, notice of which I gave earlier.
Members, the question is that the standing orders be suspended to enable the Minister to take the motion, notice of which she gave earlier. Those in favour? Those against? The ayes have it, Minister.
Madam Speaker, as this is the first time that we will be laying the revenue measures along with the other documents today that relate to our budget, I ask that I provide a context for the estimates and associated revenue measures that will be referred to the Standing Finance Committee before I move the motion, Madam Speaker. Okay. Madam Speaker, just allow me, Madam Speaker, to acknowledge my husband and one of our daughters. Our daughter is visiting from cold Chicago and wanted to see her mother in Parliament. Thank you, daughter. I feel very special. Madam Speaker, you will recall that the Independent Fiscal Commission estimated that a budget deficit of 5.3% over the period fiscal year 2025 to 26. I'm sorry, fiscal year 2025-26 to fiscal year 2029-30 is well above the legislative threshold of 1.5%. This allowed us to trigger suspension of the fiscal rules. I took the order to suspend the fiscal rules to Parliament for Parliament's approval to permit the fiscal rules to be temporarily suspended. Madam Speaker, the Independent Fiscal Commission, which started on January 1, 2025, in their first report, the Independent Fiscal Commissioner raised a red flag that successive governments have failed to table the revenue measures along with the budget documents, despite it being a requirement as per the FAA Act. Madam Speaker, in the interest of full disclosure, and more importantly, in compliance with our very own law that was passed in this Parliament, and to enable the Independent Fiscal Commissioner to have full visibility into the budget figures in order to do the assessment as to whether the budget is credible or not, we are laying the revenue measures today, as well as the first. Madam Speaker, this government has had the longest number of years of no new taxes in the history of independent Jamaica. Madam Speaker, only a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 185 miles per hour could have interrupted that. Madam Speaker, our adherence to fiscal prudence, putting aside some of our budget for a rainy day, finding financial instruments that would provide ready cash in the event our rainy day buffer was not enough, were some of the wise decisions we made as a government. And oh, how those wise decisions have helped us to quickly respond to bring relief to many left homeless by Hurricane Melissa. So, Madam Speaker, I now turn to the revenue measures to explain what they are and to just briefly continue to give a context. So the Honorable House, yes. Okay. This Honorable House is being requested to take note of the following revenue measures for implementation in fiscal year 2026, 2027, and fiscal year 2027-2028. The passage and impact of Hurricane Melissa has materially altered the government's fiscal environment. The hurricane resulted in unprecedented damage to critical infrastructure, productive sectors, and public assets, placing severe pressure on public finances and reconstruction expenditure, which is expected to extend across the medium term. Against this background, Madam Speaker, expenditure containment and administrative improvements cannot close the emerging fiscal gap. It is therefore imperative that targeted revenue measures to strengthen revenue performance, safeguard fiscal sustainability, and ensure the government's continued ability to deliver essential public services are introduced. The proposed fiscal revenue measures target some areas that are currently undertaxed, such as digital services. Additionally, given Jamaica's commitment to environmental preservation, it is proposed that the Environmental Protection Levy revenue be increased to support the government's recovery efforts. The revenue enhancement also includes a tax on sweetened beverages, which are generally perceived as a threat to healthy lifestyle. So I'll begin with the application of General Consumption Tax, GCT, on digital services and intangibles. The Honorable House is asked to note the intention to apply GCT to digital services and intangibles supplied from abroad and consumed in Jamaica. This measure forms part of ongoing efforts to modernize the tax system and provide fairness in an increasingly digital economy. Digital services now form a growing share of everyday consumption by Jamaican households and businesses. Many of these services are supplied by non-resident providers with no physical presence in Jamaica resulting in inconsistent application of GCT under existing arrangement. The rapid growth in digital transactions has highlighted gaps in the current tax framework. Similarly, services may be subject to different tax treatment depending on whether they're applied locally or from overseas, placing our domestic businesses at a competitive disadvantage. In addition, the shift towards untaxed digital consumption contributes to revenue leakage and reduces the government's capacity to fund public services. The proposed reform is guided by the destination principle, an internationally accepted standard for consumption taxation. Under this principle, GCT applies where a service is consumed rather than where the supplier is located. In practical terms, this means that digital services consumed in Jamaica should be subject to GCT in the same way as locally supplied equivalent services. The application of GCT on international digital services and intangibles is expected to have a positive revenue impact once fully implemented. The measure is expected to yield in the first instance starting in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2026-2027 because there's an implementation curve that we have to go up, and we're expecting $300 million in the first instance, but as it is fully implemented in the financial year 2027-2028, we would expect $4.2 billion. Our revenue measure number 2 would be levying the special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. This Honorable House, Madam Speaker, has been advised that SCT will be introduced under the General Consumption Tax Act on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. For this measure, non-alcoholic sweetened beverages are defined as all non-alcoholic beverages containing added sugar or other caloric sweeteners, as well as beverages containing artificial or non-nutritive sweeteners, whether carbonated or non-carbonated, and whether manufactured locally or imported. The primary objective of this measure is not only revenue mobilization, it also supports broader public health objectives. Jamaica continues to experience elevated levels of obesity and diabetes, and sweetened beverages are recognized as a significant source of extra sugar consumption. Any reduction in consumption resulting from the price adjustment would represent a positive supplementary outcome. Madam Speaker, this Honorable House has been advised that sweetened beverages are widely consumed across income groups and represent a high volume, consistently traded category of goods. Data from the 2024 Economic and Social Survey of Jamaica indicate that domestic production of carbonated beverages increased from approximately 17.3 million cases in 2020 to an estimated 20.1 million cases in 2024, reflecting sustained demand. Sweetened beverages are currently subject only to the standard GCT rate of 15% and are not presently listed in the Act as prescribed goods for SCT purposes. The proposed SCT will be assessed on a per unit basis, calculated based on the total liquid volume of each sweetened beverage measured in milliliters. The Honorable House is further advised that the SCT will apply at the point of manufacture for domestic producers and at the point of importation for imported products, in accordance with the provisions of the GCT Act. This ensures, Madam Speaker, administrative efficiency and parity between local and imported goods. The SCT will be applied at a rate of 0.02, which is 2 cents per milliliter. The estimated revenue gain associated with levying the SCT on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages is estimated at $10.1 billion and will take effect during the first quarter of fiscal year 2026-2027. At this rate, just to break it down in terms of the estimated retail price impact, it would be as follows for these examples. So for 300 milliliters beverage, it would be $6. For 600 milliliter beverage, it would be $12. And for a 2-liter beverage, it would be $40. Revenue measure number 3 would be an increase in the special consumption tax, SCT, on liters of pure alcohol. The Honorable House is being advised that the special consumption tax, SCT, on all alcoholic beverages will be increased from 1,230 per liter of pure alcohol to 1,400 per liter of pure alcohol. The current rate was established on March 13, 2017, many, many years ago, when the specific SCT increased from 1,120 to $1,230. The proposed increase is intended to preserve the real value of the tax and strengthen revenue mobilization. The Honorable House is reminded as well that alcoholic beverages are subject to both the SCT and the GCT. The GCT is applied on an ad valorem basis at the standard rate of 15% at the point of sale. The proposed measure does not alter the GCT, but only adjusts the specific SCT component. The proposed increases will apply uniformly to locally manufactured and imported alcohol beverages, ensuring neutrality of treatment and maintaining consistency within the existing SCT framework. The estimated revenue gain associated with increasing the SCT on this product, liter of pure alcohol, is estimated at $1.6 billion and will take effect the 1st of May 2026. The next is increase in the special consumption tax on cigarettes. The Honorable House is being further advised that the SCT on cigarettes will also be increased by $3 per stick, moving the effective specific rate from $17 per stick to $20 per stick. The current specific rate was established following the March 13, 2017 adjustment many years ago, which increased the tax then by $3 per stick. The Honorable House is advised that cigarette taxation remains a significant and reliable revenue source internationally. However, tax revenue performance is influenced not only by tax rates, but also by consumption patterns, enforcement effectiveness of public health policy. Increasing taxes on cigarettes are internationally recognized tools to moderate harmful consumption and reduce long-term health costs. The proposed increases will apply uniformly to locally manufactured and imported cigarette products, again ensuring neutrality of treatment and maintaining consistency within the existing SCT framework. The estimated revenue gain associated with increasing the SCT on cigarettes is approximately $1.1 billion and will take effect 1st of May 2026. moderation of the 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials. The Honorable House is asked to note that the current 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials in certain positions reduces the duties payable when importing or purchasing vehicles. This concession was introduced to reduce the cost of vehicle ownership, support mobility, and assist certain public sector groups in an environment that no longer exists. It represents a significant reduction in government revenues. The Honorable House is asked to note that currently under the 20% duty concession framework, public officials in eligible posts are afforded preferential tax treatment on importation of motor vehicles. Within this framework, both the SCT and the GCT are fully waived, and the applicable customs duty is 20% of the vehicle's CIF value. Consequently, beneficiaries of the concession are required to pay 20% customs duty with no liability for SCT or GCT. The Honorable House is asked to note that it is proposed that the 20% duty concession on motor vehicles be amended. It is proposed that the 20% import duty remain payable, the GCT becomes payable, and the SCT exemption remains. The estimated revenue gain associated with removal of the GCT exemption is approximately $1.3 billion, and it will be effective the 1st of May 2026. All right, the concession remains, but with modification. The next revenue measure is the increase in environmental protection
House
levy
Leader.
rate.
The minister's time for speaking has expired. Minister, my apologies. Somebody's phone rang in here, sounding the bell, but the time on the clock has not expired. My apologies.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this Honorable House is asked to note that the primary objective of the Environmental Protection Levy is to mitigate environmental degradation, promote sustainable resource utilization, and bolster climate resilience, particularly for Jamaica's vulnerable island ecosystems. It was first imposed on all goods imported, but later extended to the domestic market. At the ports, it is charged on the CIF of imported items, while domestically, it is imposed on the sales of locally manufactured goods, discounted by 25%. Madam Speaker, events of recent years have underscored the urgent need for enhanced environmental safeguards. This includes implementing stronger penalties to deter pollution. A series of severe natural disasters has further challenged Jamaica's fiscal stability. Hurricane Beryl in 2024, followed by the unprecedented Hurricane Melissa in 2025, which is identified as the costliest in the nation's history, causing estimated damage in excess of US $8.8 billion, approximately 41% of 2024 GDP. These events have imposed a significant financial burden, contributing to a projected decline in real GDP of 0.5% and 4.5% for the 2024-25 and 2025-26 fiscal periods, respectively. In an effort to finance enhancement of climate resilience, it is proposed to increase the environmental protection levy rate to 0.8% from 0.5% for both imports and domestic goods, and to expand the base on which the domestic levy is charged from 75% of sales to 100%. It is estimated that these adjustments will result in 3.639 billion in revenues effective May 1, 2026. The next revenue measure will increase the general consumption tax GCT rate on tourism activities to the standard rate of 15%, up from 10%. The Honourable House is asked to note that over the years, the government of Jamaica has provided special tax treatment to the tourism industry to alleviate the tax burden and propel the industry to a level of maturity. This support was delivered through targeted tax credits, including the special tax credit, STC, and the special alcoholic beverages credit, SABC. These credits allowed eligible tourism entities to reduce their net tax liability based on prescribed formula, including credits linked to non-tourism revenue streams and to GCT paid on alcoholic beverages used in taxable activities. While effective in reducing the tax burden, these arrangements were administratively complex. In fiscal year 2005-2006, the credit-based system was repealed and replaced with a simplified regime under which the tourism industry was subject to 50% of the standard GCT rate, resulting in an effective rate of 8.25%. This rate was subsequently adjusted in fiscal year 2009-2010 to the current rate of 10%. Since that time, the industry has continued to mature and demonstrate sustained growth in arrivals, room stock, and earnings. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the Honourable House is asked to note that, considering the foregoing and government's revenue needs over the medium term, the GCT rate applicable to specified tourism activities is to be increased to 15%, effective April 1, 2027, because we know that the industry is recovering, and so it will be delayed until 1st of April 2027. The GCT rate on tourism activities is estimated to yield approximately $11.4 billion in additional revenues annually. Madam Speaker, there will be continuation of the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to central government. Madam Speaker, the NHG Act was first amended in March 2013 to facilitate the transfer of $11.4 billion to the central government towards fiscal consolidation for the four-year period 2013-14 to 2016-17. Given the need for further consolidation on the government's economic reform program of the day, further amendments to the NHG Act were undertaken in August 2017 to facilitate continued transfers for the period 2017-18 to 2020-21. December 2020 to facilitate the continuation of annual transfers for the period 2021-22 to 2025-26. The National Housing Trust Amendment Special Provision Act 2020, the Act, provides for the National Housing Trust to provide a fiscal distribution or fiscal consolidation of $11.4 billion per annum for a period of 5 years, with effect from 2021-22 financial year. Section 3 of the Act provides that this Act shall continue in operation until March 31, 2026, and shall then expire. The expiration of the Act on March 31, 2026 will result in the discontinuation of the annual contribution by the NHT and a significant fall off in government revenues. Given the impact of Hurricane Melissa on the island, continuation of these transfers across the medium term is necessary to support sustainability of the fiscal operations while reconstruction activities are underway. It is therefore proposed, Madam Speaker, that the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to the central government be continued for another 5 years from fiscal 2026-27 through fiscal year 2030-2031. Sorry, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, property taxes have remained at the same rate since fiscal year 2016-17. Property values have remained at the same value as they were then on the books of government. Our property taxes support our municipalities and the National Solid Waste Management Authority. The Prime Minister, to whom the National Land Agency reports, has approved the National Land Agency to begin a revaluation of the many parcels of land in Jamaica. This work will take about 12 months, and so that valuation will advise the new property tax rate for fiscal year 27-28. To close, Madam Speaker, we know that we are in the wage negotiation cycle with our public sector workers. We take that quite seriously, coming on the heels of the major wage restructuring. Today, Madam Speaker, this government is indicating that despite the massive disruption of Melissa, totaling US $8.8 billion, or 41% of our GDP, and the debt we must take on to rebuild, reconstruct, and build in resilience in our infrastructure as a government. Despite all of that, Madam Speaker, we remain committed to the wage offer that this government has put forward to our public sector workers. And this offer was put forward prior to the devastation visited on us by the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, with winds of 185 miles per hour on October 28, 2025. That we are able to do so following Melissa is a testimony to the years of fiscal discipline pre-Melissa and the many years to come of continued good fiscal management. Finally, Madam Speaker, last year in this Parliament, as a government, we gave a commitment to the increase in the threshold to 1.9 million for fiscal year 2026-27. Madam Speaker, this government also remains committed to the increase in the threshold to 1.9 million from April 1, 2026. Madam Speaker, as I close, my message is a message of hope to all Jamaicans to say we will rebuild homes, churches, schools, businesses, lives, livelihoods, our telecom network, our electricity grid, hotels, roads, our produce farms, our vegetable crops, fishing villages, animal farms. Madam Speaker, much of that work is already underway. Today, we construct temporary containerized homes because we must move fast to put those in place. But tomorrow, we build permanent structures. Madam Speaker, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, we gave food packages and hot meals to those who lost everything. Today, we are helping to restore homes and livelihoods and put persons in a position in which they'll be able to put one foot in front of the other and begin life anew. Today, Madam Speaker, We clear roads and replant the electric poles that have been scattered by Hurricane Melissa. Tomorrow, we build highways that are climate resilient, promote efficient connectivity, and have underground conduits for electricity grid and telecom networks. Madam Speaker, this is a government that cares. That wakes up every day with focus and with energy to do the work, to build country, create opportunities, and ensure Jamaicans can live life to its fullest. Madam Speaker, let me close by saying, God bless everyone. God bless Jamaica. Land we love.
Responding, the member from Southeast,
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
St. Andrew Southeast.
St. Andrew Southeast. And we are offering our preliminary comments, having just received this, and the opposition will more fulsomely
Thank you so much.
respond as we go along. I want to make a couple of comments. Before we get to Melissa, or even before we got to Beryl, it's important to remind the country that for the last 2 fiscal years, government's revenues have been struggling to meet government expenditures. And the government has relied for the last 2 fiscal years on 2 one-off transactions which have allowed the government to fund the budget. In 2023-24, the sale of 12 years of future revenues from the Norman Manley International Airport yielded $75 billion, which financed the 23-24 budget. For the 24-25 budget, the sale of future revenues, 10 years of future revenues of Donaldson Airport yielded $61 billion, which allowed the government to finance the 24-25 budget. I am making this point, Madam Speaker, to indicate that without Beryl, without Melissa, the government would have had to find some other asset to sell to meet the demands of the budget. I want to go to some of the measures, again, preliminary to what the ministers proposed. In relation to the special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened drinks, I know there is a public health imperative, a very big one. But I will say to you, I do not believe the price increases will change behavior. Hold on. And hold on. And the persons who are the greatest consumers are young children who go to basic school, primary school. And we need to change the culture. But when you look at the demand for these goods and the level of the increases, I would posit that it's a relatively inelastic demand, meaning that I don't believe that you're going to have much behavior change. Yeah. What I am recommending, though, is that of the 10 billion which you, and by your own measure, the fact that you anticipate to collect so much from this indicates that you don't really expect there to be a significant fall off in demand. Right. But I would recommend that some of the monies that are collected from it, are invested and provided to the local agriculture industry so that natural juices, unsweetened natural juices, can be provided as alternatives to the sweetened drinks. And that the monies, the 10 billion, are not solely just put in the overall consolidated fund, but that we enhance our ability to provide the substitutes for it. Secondly, in relation to the environmental protection levy, again, my recommendation, the funds that we anticipate to collect from this goes into building greater resilience so that we can absorb some of those shocks that we naturally are going to have in the future, right? And when you look at you anticipate raising 3.6 billion from it. And we know that given the nature of climate change, we're likely to have future events that some of those resources be put to build resilience, whether it be in the infrastructure, river training, other things. Madam Speaker, I am also happy that the government finally has not just followed the recommendation of the Fiscal Commissioner, but abided with the FAA Act in ensuring that the revenue measures are tabled at the same time as the estimates of expenditure. I will close here, and as I indicated, these are our preliminary comments, and once we have an opportunity, the budget debate and others, we will expand on it. Thank you.
Minister, 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 you would need before to move the motion. Minister, just please move the motion for the notice to be approved, which you gave earlier.
I don't know what I did it. Okay. Madam Speaker, I now move that the motion, notice of which I gave earlier, be approved.
The question is that the motion notice of which the minister gave earlier be approved. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, it is not intended to do any further business today, but let me make two quick announcements. Standing Finance Committee will meet on the 5th and 6th of March. We intend to start at 9:15 on the 5th of March. And again, we ask the members 9:15. On the 5th of March, as you know, we have a lot of ground to cover over the 2 days, and we ask the members to be here and be on time. Additionally, the Parliament is organizing with the Ministry of Finance for there to be a training session in relation to budgetary matters, right? So that especially the new members of Parliament will be able to go through and interrogate the budget and get themselves familiar with the budget and the budgetary process. We think this will make the Standing Finance Committee go a lot smoother. So members, look out for that notification as to when this training will be held, and please avail yourself. With that said, we ask that the meeting be adjourned for a date to be set.
No, nothing else on adjournment, because when we abuse some privileges, it means when we are doing adjournment, I no longer break for even clarification. Clarification can be sought outside the House. Members, that clarification on adjournment can be sought outside the House. Members, as it relates to the announcement by the House Leader, the time is tight, and the Ministry of Finance just gave us the go-ahead to be able to facilitate the training for us. You will appreciate that when the budget schedule is circulated. So having asked the ministry, they just today, while we were sitting here just a while ago, agreed to do the training for us, and it is something that we need. Members, thank you so much. And as moved by House Leader, there being no other business, I now ask that this House do now adjourn for a date to be fixed. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. This honorable House now stands adjourned.
Wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Well, how does somebody look like rise up? Slutty walk on. Me glad for see you, Roy. Although things never go on for you, America, me glad say you there.
Yeah.
Lift your head high.
Yeah.
You out of trouble.
Yeah.
And you can have a fresh start back home. All right, Mr. P. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Well, how does somebody look like rise up? Slutty walk on. Me glad for see you, Roy. Although things never go on for you, America, me glad say you there.
Yeah.
Lift your head high.
Yeah.
You out of trouble.
Yeah.
And you can have a fresh start back home. All right, Mr. P. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Good things are happening in Jamaica. Our unemployment remains the lowest it has ever been, which means more Jamaicans are and their families. Your government is building Jamaica.
When the storm rages and the world feels shaken, remember our strength lies in unity. It's in coming together, sharing hope, and standing shoulder to shoulder that we find resilience. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement builds a brighter tomorrow. We are stronger as one. Our courage, compassion, and hope will light the way forward. Together we rise. Together we rebuild, because hope is never lost when we stand united, because we are stronger together.
Peace is a choice we make every day. When we come together with love and understanding, we create a future free of violence and fear. Let's stand united, build bridges, and nurture hope for our children and our communities.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them friends to you.
Put germs and manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs on it.
Message from the Ministry of Health.
Embark on
A new story is being written for all Jamaicans. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock, we're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Mac JC.
树上，再美也够不着。23号，掌握着牢牢，气息常常会流荡，星星也睡着，老许背着粗心到处跑，没有去的宝藏，人去搬呀薯条，总有很多烦恼也不少，冲出作业康熙的好，当功课还好，一起接钞票。牛奶糖，牛奶糖，牛奶糖，牛奶糖，牛奶糖，牛奶糖，转，快乐刚刚好，刚刚好。
Yes, this Friday, the school will hold a flea market. Each class will have its own stalls. All of the money earned will be donated to children in the mountainous areas. So this means this is a charity event. The money earned by each class will be converted into charity points. These charity points will be added to our class points. Everyone understand?
Yes. Charity points? Recently, I've often been late and skipped class. I've lost our class a lot of points. This is my chance to make it up to them.
Who wants to be in charge of the stall?
Miss me! Me, miss!
Okay. Janice and Naomi both want to. Anyone else?
I'm gonna sell some things which everyone really wants to buy. Pretty much everyone's got this. Huh? This is too old. Oh, there's really nothing good here. How am I gonna sell them?
Naomi? Come, time to do your homework.
Oh. Which part should I do? Huh? Oh yeah, I can buy stuff online. Wow, this one's nice. This one's good. I'll take these to the flea market. They'll sell really well. Mom!
Have you finished already?
Mom, help me pay.
Pay for what? Huh? Naomi Lee, what on earth are you buying? Don't you know it's better to buy them in one shop? This one's 3 yuan. That one's 5 yuan. The postage is going to cost more. And this notebook is so expensive.
Is 6.8 expensive?
Huh? It's 68 yuan, not 6.8. Oh. You've got no idea.
Anyway, you're still going to pay for them, yeah?
No way.
All right. Wow, this motto is fantastic.
Hey, don't bring it. It's a limited edition.
Loads of people must want to buy a limited edition one.
Of course. If you like it, act fast. It'll get sold very soon.
If only I had some limited edition things too, I'd be able to actually sell them.
Naomi, why are you looking so down? The flea market's about to open. You're in charge of our stall. Get ready.
My things are too ordinary. I don't have limited edition stuff like Daniel.
That doesn't matter. Make your own mark then they'll be limited edition.
My own limited edition?
Yeah.
Naomi, come on.
The special thing is here.
Wow, that's pretty.
Of course, Naomi's own creation. Only available here.
This is painted by our famous painter of the future, Naomi Lee. It is not available anywhere else. This has got real collector's value.
So, how much is it?
5 yuan.
Can I just buy the picture?
They're being sold as a set.
Too expensive. Here.
Oh,
But you're our first customer. We'll give you a discount.
yes, opening offer. Only 2 yuan for you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Here, your change.
Naomi, you've got it wrong. This is right.
Calculating change is hard. Good job you're here.
I'll help with the money.
All right, we'll work together. Let's get started. Teamwork. We can open our stall now.
Naomi, we need to make it livelier. Make an atmosphere.
Lively. Atmosphere. No problem. Tired of walking around? Have a rest and watch a play. I'm gonna beat you up, you finger eating croc. Ouch. All fingers unite. Yeah. We did it.
Brilliant.
5 fingers limited edition glove. 1 yuan for the pair.
I want them then.
I do too.
Since y'all want them, we'll have an auction.
Yes, yes. Starting price 1 yuan. No higher bid. Whoever buys the gloves will also get a comic of the play. You can continue the story yourself, or you can also buy some crayons and then color it in.
I'll pay 3 yuan.
1 bid of 3 yuan.
Okay, 5 yuan.
Okay, deal. All sold. Judy, add it up. I'll go and see how our classmates are doing.
Okay.
Daniel,
Would you like to buy a Naomi?
didn't you say it would get sold really quickly?
It's not my fault. They don't know how good it is.
That's no good. If you can't sell it, we'll miss out on points. Our class will fall behind.
Naomi, what are you doing?
Okay, you'll have plenty of customers soon.
Huh?
You're welcome.
Free tasters of snacks.
Wow, Henry, you've got a mobile stall.
Yeah, try these crisps. They're so delicious.
You've eaten most of the snacks. What are you going to sell?
Don't worry. I was standing over near Janice's stand a few minutes ago. I sold a load there.
Janice's stand?
Yeah, it's really busy there.
I'll take a look. 1 bid, 1 throw, 2 bid for 3 throws.
I want 3 throws.
Okay. Janice, this is a game. You're not selling anything. It's called getting healthy for nothing. Earning money without having an extra product. Get it? That doesn't seem like honest behavior. Look how much they're all having fun. You know you should think out of the box. All gone? All gone.
All gone? Isn't that good?
Can't even do what Janice is doing.
What?
It's fine. They're all gone.
Young girl, how much is this picture?
How about 1 yuan?
Only 1 yuan?
1 yuan is the cost of the paper. With the time and skill used, it will come to 10 yuan.
If I buy them all, is there a discount?
60 for the lot, including the one she's painting right now.
Is that so?
Okay, I'll take them all.
Right at the end, Naomi Lee paintings for 60 yuan. Our class in the lead, so we finished with the most charity points. That means our class has won the red flag.
哎爷呀，我还没写完作业，真希望我有分身点点点。一个帮忙功课写作业，一个上山下海到处冒险。哎爷呀，终于到下课时间，红绿灯悄悄搬到车前，你一口我一口吃着甜甜，希望我们的友情不变。许下心愿。轻轻松一点，是他要送我的甜甜笑脸，年轻懂事一点，每天长得一点，随时充满电。飞到天空上面，飞到梦想世界，跟着鲸鱼跳一首空中芭蕾，找人聊一聊天，环环梦世界，完美的快乐童年。
Jamaica improve, heart free, wages increase, housing scheme are built up, we have more opportunities, roads built, and the dollar stable. We are building Jamaica.
Give yourself a fighting chance. Wear an approved helmet. A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Mining.
Hey, I'm Abijah, the Rootsman. Today, I want to talk to you about something powerful. Peace. Peace isn't just the absence of conflict. It's about kindness, understanding, and respect. It starts with us. Every choice we make can build bridges or burn them. Let's choose peace in our words, our action, and our hearts. Peace begins with you. Together, we can create a brighter and safer future for everyone. Join me. Let's be that change we want to see.
You see, the use of Jamaican proverbs or sayings, they play an important role in communicating messages by Jamaicans, Yes, man. They're often injected into everyday conversations, and they are very handy when one needs to summarize an emotion or a particular situation, getting right to the point in the only way that Jamaicans can. Yeah, man. And there is always a proverb or a saying to match whatever emotion or situation there is. Now, these proverbs or sayings are influenced by our multicultural ancestry, namely that of the African and English ancestry. And of course, it's not just the saying or the proverb, it's how you say it too. Wanna poison, fatten. Our Jamaicans would also say, wanna kill, fatten. And of course, if we were to say that in standard English, it would be, what doesn't poison you, fattens you. Or what doesn't kill you, fattens you. And what that really means, is that, for example, if you eat something, right, and it drop on the ground, and that just little dust get on it, little dirt get on it, you brush it off, you eat it. In other words, it not cause you no real harm. And the worst that can happen is that you get a little fat. And some people may even extend the meaning to mean that if you're in a situation, whatever that situation may be, but it's not creating any real harm, and it could be benefit to you, then why not poison, fatten you? As long as you can see the benefit in it. There is so much truth and wisdom in our good old Jamaican proverbs. So we need to claim our heritage, know our culture, get to know we Jamaican proverb them, and use them when we really need to.
Dengue is ordinarily a mild disease. Persons may get a fever, headache, joint and muscle pains. The illness is often resolved through rest and adequate hydration along with paracetamol to treat the accompanying fever. However, on occasions, the illness can progress to severe dengue, which can result in organ failure, bleeding, and severe fluid depletion that can lead to shock and even death. Therefore, it is important for persons who are experiencing fever, vomiting, severe abdominal pain, bleeding under the skin, feeling very weak, or getting confused to seek immediate attention. Let us work together to protect ourselves against dengue.
Speeding kills. Obey the speed limit. A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Mining.
Come July, your NHT home improvement loan will increase to $3.5 million for qualifying applicants. Your government is caring for you.